Check, 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 check. Hey, 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 it's Thursday, I believe. Hey, Scott Ayers here with Product Demo Lab, and we're going to spend a little bit of time here looking at different items to clean your pool, primarily looking at robotic pool vacuum cleaners. It's that time of the year. You got to get your pool ready. I've got a pool. I actually got 2 pool vacuums in my pool right now as we speak. Because the wind blew a lot in the last 2 days. We had a little bit of thunderstorms and stuff. And so like trying to keep them clean is a constant battle. I have an above ground pool. I have a 24-foot round above ground pool, which I think is the, let me check. Yeah, it's the Intex that's highlighted right now on the carousel. And it's a big pool, so it's a lot to keep clean. And what I've learned is a lot about the robot vacuums here over the last couple of years and testing out different ones, and now I'm addicted to them like crazy, and I have about 25 of them that I play around with all the time. So it asks you to do a couple of things. Make sure you leave a comment, let me know you're here, say hi, say something. Click on all the products, look at them, and see if there's something that could work in your pool. Like I said, most of the stuff in the carousel is going to be robot vacuums. I have put in I think at least 1 or 2 of the chlorine tablet floaters that I use in my pool. I use this little duck, and I've got a turtle one too from them. And one more. What was the other one? Flamingo or something? I don't remember. Oh, I got a little like fish that looks like Nemo. So I use the duck one right now. But make sure you click on the products, look around. There's deals all the time on these. There's some really good prices I noticed earlier on some of these vacuums as we're getting in to May here. You're going to see a lot more deals come on. But then what happens usually every year is we hit like mid-May to June and the prices go up because that's when it's full-on season for swimming around the U.S. anyway. So yeah, take a look at those. Make sure you unmute and make sure you follow. If you do follow while we're live, I will celebrate you as best as I can. So I'm going to spend pretty much all of my time the rest of the stream over here. And this is where I'll show you videos of the different pool vacs, kind of show you what they look like and how they move around and all of that. So the first one's going to be the Scuba SE. So the Scuba SE is a cordless robotic vacuum cleaner. Takes about 2.5 to 3 hours to charge it if it's completely drained out. And then it's going to run for 90 minutes. And during that 90-minute time, it's going to, kind of do a little bit of a zigzagging sort of pattern around the bottom of your pool floor. It's rechargeable on the bottom with the little port. You do have to make sure that's dry before you plug it back in. And the button to turn it on is on the bottom. There's no lights or anything on this one to let you know that it's ready to go. There'll be a light on the charger. It'll go green, and that lets you know that it's fully charged. When you do push that little blue button on the bottom, it'll come on. This one is very hydrodynamic. It's very low to the pool floor. So as it's scooting around, it's It's supposed to help it not get pushed up by its own inertia, basically. That's kind of the idea with it being so low to the pool floor. And it's going to move around, zigzagging around, picking up leaves. It's going to pick up like dead bugs and paper, plastic, whatever may have blown into your yard. It's going to pick that stuff up for you. That's the stuff that turns into algae later, and you want to make sure that you take advantage of getting that stuff out as quick as you can. It's really important to do that. When it gets done, what's really cool on pretty much all of these robot vacuums, not just the Aiper, is they're going to get down to about 15% battery life, and then it's going to go park itself up against the wall, and it'll come with a hook, and you just use the hook on your pole and pull that out, and then go clean it. So you can see it there. It's kind of doing its moving around. Let me show you when it does get finished. This is what it ends up looking like. You just pull it straight out. You let that water drain out pretty good. This one does have a quick release on the front and the back. So regardless of which way you end up putting it back together, it'll drain out really quick. And then it's got two latches that you just pop open, and then that gives you access to the little carrier where all the dirt and debris and stuff is. And then you just rinse it out and go along your way. So again, it takes about 3 hours to charge it if it's fully drained. It's going to run for 90 minutes, very low to the ground. Going to catch sand, going to catch little dirt. Look at these little bugs or something like that might be there in the bottom of your pool. So if you got an above ground pool up to 860 square feet, that's what this is recommended for due to the amount of time that it can run. So check that one out from Aiper. Right now, it is on a limited time deal, 14% off at $119.99. Over 1,000 of these have been sold in the last month, and it's actually got, for the pool vacuum industry, they have if you got 3.5 stars or higher, you're doing pretty good, because people want to complain. Most of the complaints that you'll see people have across the industry when it comes to the robot pool vacs is, oh, it didn't get algae. Most of these are not designed to get algae. They're designed to get leaves and debris and stuff. So they just don't understand how they actually are supposed to work. That's usually what ends up happening. And their pool's too big. That tends to be the number one thing you see people complain about. So take a look at the Scuba SE. The next vac I want to show you is got a great deal on it today. I think it's just $100. And they do have a newer version as well, but it's this is the one from last year's version. But so this is the Co-Steering Planet vacuum cleaner. This is an above ground pool, flat surface pool cleaner. It's actually in my pool as we speak. This is going to be ideal up to about 850 square feet. It's going to clean for 100 minutes. The power button's on the top on this one, which I like that access. You'll see it kind of go through the colors. Green means you're over 75% charged. And then you got to dunk these in the pool. All of these that are the smaller ones like this, you're going to have to push them down in there and let them, blub, 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 take on a bunch of water. And then they'll go down the bottom of the pool floor. And then it's going to start its cleaning here. And what it's made to clean is going to be leaves. It's going to be dead bugs, any of the debris, smaller debris that's fallen to the bottom of the pool floor. It will grab some sand. Like we had a lot of sandstorms in Texas over the last few months, and it came out of West Texas, which you normally don't get those here, and got dirt all over everything. Cars were covered. Pools really got covered because the water grabbed it and it went down. And I've noticed this one picking up a lot of that stuff because that cavity would end up holding it, which was really nice. Again, going to clean for 100 minutes. So you get a little bit more cleaning out of this one compared to a lot of the other above ground pool vacuums that are this size. And it does need to be flat, your surface. My surface is a little bit sketchy at times because I'm not even. I did not get the pool set up even. That happens. And then now we've had some settling happen. So I got a lot of wrinkles in the bottom of the pool floor. I'm just not going to worry about it at this point. But it does divert these vacuums a lot. It kind of makes them move around kind of weird, which is the downside of those. And then, when it gets done, when I say done, when it gets down to about 15% battery life, it's going to go park itself up against the wall so you can retrieve it with the hook that it comes with. Drain the water out. There's a bunch of little holes on this one, so it will kind of get that water out really quick. So watch your feet when you're pulling it out. And then it's got 4 clamps on it that you'll open up. There's one on every side, and that's how you gain access to it and look for all the debris and stuff that's down inside there. You can see that water's kind of flowing off of that top of that storage thing there. When you pull off all of these that are made like this, you don't have to clean much on that top piece. It's down underneath the screen, and you can see, look inside that, tons of leaves. There was a lot more leaves on the pull floor than I realized. I think it probably blew in that. I don't stand out there the entire 100 minutes and film it because that would get really old. I'll do a few minutes, but then I go about my day, right? But a lot of stuff in there, super easy to clean out, no cords, while it's in the pool, no ropes, no retrievals, that kind of thing. Made to pick up debris, not made to pick up algae. You'll need one that has a different microfilter in it, which is a bigger unit typically and more expensive unit because it's got to have enough strength to pull it out. But if you're just wanting to pick up the debris that turns into algae later on, something like this from Coastarian is what I would really recommend. This one's called the Planet. They also have a Planet Pro, a little bit bigger one as well. Currently, right now, this thing is 33% off at $99.99, which is an amazing price. $100 for a cordless robot pool vacuum is an excellent price. And I think this comes in this blue-gray color. Or there's an off-white, but the off-white, does it have a coupon? Yeah, it's got a 10% off coupon and a $40 off coupon. So you'll get it right there at the $100 as well if you wanted the white one. So check that one out. If you're just hopping over here, we're looking at a lot of different pool vacuum cleaners right now. We're getting up to that time of the year. So you got to get your pool clean. And these are some things and tools that I've used that really have done a fantastic job for me. This one, let me find the video here, the Scuba E1. Let's pull this up. So this is the Aiper Scuba E1. This is a pool vacuum that when it launched, I got so excited because it's a little bit different than the vast majority of the pool vacuums you see that are designed for above ground pools. You get motorized wheels. So there's 2 motorized wheels there on the back. And what that allows it to do is move around quicker, for one, but also it helps in my kind of pool that has some wrinkles on the bottom. It helps get over those things without much of an issue whatsoever, which is so nice. So I like that I have that to look forward to. That it's not going to get stuck like some of the ones that are just pushed around by inertia. This one's got a motorized, and it's going to go over it. The other thing too with this, and I didn't know this till the first time I actually used it, was this is going to clean forward and back. So when it goes and taps against the wall, it's got little bumpers on both sides. It'll tap, instead of it having to turn around because it can't, because it's just those 2 back wheels, it just goes the other way, and then it'll come back the other way. So I like that. That was kind of a cool aspect of it. Runs for, I want to say 2.5 hours. Yeah, 130 minutes. Actually, that's a little bit more than that, isn't it? Yeah, 130 minutes. So 2 hours and 10 minutes. So I said, I don't know what I said there, but I said 2.5. That's not 2.5. You get 130 minutes of cleaning with the E1, which is a long time for an above ground pool, which means your pool can be up to about 1,100 square feet, which is a large pool, like 33 feet in length if it were like a rectangular one. So that's a lot of cleaning. So if you got a smaller pool, you'll probably go across the pool twice, which really does a good job of covering everything and making sure you're really getting stuff cleaned up. The big game changer here with the E1, other than the motorized wheels, is it has a micro filter. And you'll see here, when I open this up, simple way to open it up too, by the way, real easy. I love that. You don't have to even take the whole vacuum to where you clean it, but you've got this big basket here, which is going to have all your larger debris, the leaves, dead bugs, stuff like that. And then this one here is simply pulling water across it, and it's going to catch all those microorganisms. So algae, watch this. you can see the cleaning spot, the cleaner spot, like it starts to turn white. That's just dirt, algae, and like pollen, other things that are in the pool that you can't even see when you get in. But if you got in with a white shirt, you would know it pretty quick because your white shirt would change colors. So that's what this is doing. It's catching all of that little stuff. So I've been a huge fan here of the Scuba E1. Simple to use. Takes about 2 hours to charge it, and then you get 2 hours and 10 minutes of use time out of it. The charging port is covered up, which is really nice, so you don't have to worry about it getting messed up on you later on. So nice one for your above ground pools. You could use this in an in-ground pool if it's 100% flat, no changes in depth whatsoever. So because it's not going to make it back up the incline, so make sure it's a completely flat pool. And right now it looks like the E1 is $359.99, but there is a $40 off coupon right now on the product page, so you get it for $319. So a little bit more than some of the others, but some of those added benefits is to me is well worth it. Excuse me. A little froggy in my throat. So yeah, check out the Scuba E1. All right, we're gonna keep moving. I'm gonna try to move fast through this because I literally got 40 of these in the carousel, and we're not gonna get to all of them. I usually go for about an hour on these. So, all right, this one is the Gosford. Let's see. We'll go right here. So this is the Gosford Light Vac 800. You can get this in a green handle or an orange handle. They're the same exact vacuum, just a different color handle between the two of them. This one's going to charge on the bottom. It's got your little debris openings with little brushes that are going to pull in leaves and dead bugs and stuff like that. You turn it on the bottom, and you'll hear a little beep to let you know that it's, and it sounds just like that, to let you know it's, turned on. And then you're going to have to hold it in the pool water, which you'll have to do with most of these that are made like this. Let it take in the water so it doesn't flip over upside down on its way down. And then it's going to take off and start to clean kind of I always say it's a zigzaggy sort of pattern. There's no rhyme or reason to the pattern on this sort of vacuum that doesn't have motorized wheels. It doesn't have an AI, it doesn't have cameras on it. It's simply got a little like balancer in there and it knows when it's gone against the wall, and then it'll back itself up and go the other way. If you've got wrinkles in the bottom of your pool floor, it is going to get diverted with those. That is super common and is expected, honestly, because you're not supposed to have those. So that's just kind of how it is. But it will kind of just move around, zigzagging around, going to clean for 90 minutes, all right? Then you pull it out after it's parked against the wall. It gets down to 15% battery life. It goes and finds that wall. That way you can retrieve it back out. Then you'll pull it out. It's got that quick release there on the front. It's going to let that water out super, super fast for you within just a few seconds. And then take it to wherever you clean. This is a unit you'll need to take the entire thing over to where you clean it. Pop those two sides and then pull that top up. You're going to have that screen in there. That screen is going to keep all of the debris that's larger than the screen holes from coming back out. So that's going to be bugs, little pieces of dirt, sand, leaves, bugs, whatever might be on the bottom. You can see there the type of stuff that it tends to pick up. Good amount of suction. Look at that. That's the little stuff that you some of that stuff you don't even notice is in your pool. Like if you looked at it, you're looking 4 feet down or so, you can't see that. But this it'll grab it. It doesn't know it's grabbing it. It's just going around and grabbing it. So nice, smooth, easy glide, very efficient, very, hydrodynamic, simple to use. Again, designed for above ground pools. You got to be 100% flat. And I would recommend under about 850 square feet on this one so that it has enough time to go around your pool. Grab it with the green handle or the orange handle. Looks like right now price on this is 29% off at $119.99. There is a $10 off coupon making it $109. And as I said, you can get it in either color. You can see there in the carousel, it's in green handle or orange handle. It's the same vacuum. It's just a different, preference, if you will, on those colors. Let's see, a handheld vac. We don't talk about those enough, but a lot of people do. They don't want to deal with the robots, and so they like the handheld. Let me find this Ybot stick vacuum here. So this particular handheld vac will come with this extendable pole. And I forget how long that pole is. It's like 60 inches, 59 technically. So a long telescoping pole. So you don't have to put it on your own pole. It has one for you. Or you can use just a little handle you can kind of see sitting there on the shelf. And that would let you clean the bottom of the pool. It's made to, like, you know, if you got a hot tub and you want to clean it, this is perfect for that. If you've got an in-ground pool and you want to clean your steps, great way to clean the steps. There's a little brush on the bottom and you can use it to scrub it. It's kind of like a toothbrush, you know, kind of material. And then if you got a smaller above ground pool, I think this is great too, because you can easily go around and clean it. And you're going to clean, in most cases, faster than maybe a robot would, because you know exactly, you can see where the dirt is. There's not many robots that can, you know, that have vision on. There are a few, but boy, they're expensive. This, you go, all right, there's leaves right there. Boom, boom, boom. Got them, done. Y'all hop in and swim, right? So that's kind of the advantage, I think, with using a stick vac like that, because then, you know, you can kind of control where it goes, and you can get in all those hard to reach spots and stuff like that with it. Really strong suction on this. You got those two heads that are removable, the telescoping pole, and then it's got what they call a 0.5 liter metal iron mesh filter. And I think I'll show you maybe here in a sec, where that iron mesh filter here will grab a lot of little stuff. I was actually impressed with how much stuff it actually got out of it, and I ended up dropping a piece. But the little mesh grabs a hold of a lot of debris. It's going to keep that stuff from getting, you know, back into the pool once you vacuumed it up, which is really nice. It's going to run for 60 minutes off. There's that mesh there. 60 minutes on one full charge. So, you know, if you just use it for a couple of minutes to get it out, you don't have to keep plugging it back in. You'll get that full 60 minutes out. So if you're looking for an alternative to a robot vacuum, I do think a handheld vac like this is a really nice way to go here from Wybot. It's currently 25% off. It's only $87.45. So low price, in my opinion, for something to clean your pool. So check that one out from Wybot. And I'm talking fast because normally I will play the full video and let it talk, but decided today that I would talk over the videos. I decided that literally as I pushed play on the first one, because why not? I'm all about repurposing stuff. And so what'll happen here, if you never watched my live streams before, I like to repurpose everything that I'm doing here. And so what I'll end up doing is I'll end up repurposing this video, take out segments, and then I upload these to the product videos. So, you know, if you're a live streamer, this is something I would highly recommend you do. Like, record yourself doing your live stream and then pull out the snippets. So free info. Didn't charge you anything for that. All right, we're going to go to the Scuba S1 next. All right, this is the Aiper Scuba S1. This thing is a beast. All right, this is a robot, cordless robot vacuum cleaner that is going to clean pools up to 1,600 square feet. That's a huge pool, right? You're going to get like 2.5 hours of cleaning out of it, which is pretty fantastic. This has what they call like Caterpillar bulldozer tank style tires there on the side, as you can see. And that allows it to go up and down different depth changes. So if you got an in-ground pool, you can have a deep end, and this will go up and down. It's not going to have any problem with that, okay? This will climb your walls and go up and work and clean on the water line. When it goes up the top of the water line, you'll see the front brushes come out. They're like a PVC rubber. They'll come out and clean for about 10 seconds or so, and then go back down, and it does, you know, this turnaround pattern and goes back up again. Because what you can do on here is 4 different modes. Your first mode is, you might call it auto mode or smart mode. People call it different things. But what it does is it splits the time between walls and floors. And what the S1 will do is the first half of the battery life, it will clean the walls. So it'll do WavePath Navigation 2.0, which is a fancy way of just saying how it kind of moves around. But it'll do like an in pattern on the sidewall as it kind of goes up, comes back down, turns itself, and then kind of goes back up. So it overlaps just a tiny bit. That way it's covering all of the water line and all of the wall. And then it'll split it. So half the time that 2.5 hours will be spent on the walls first, and then that second half will be spent on the floors doing kind of an S pattern. If you were to kind of time lapse it, it'd look like a big snake, going around the bottom of the pool. And then it'll park against the wall when it gets down to less than 15% battery, wherever it's at. It'll go, I got to go find a wall, got to call home, got to pick me up from the skating rink. And then you have to just fish it out with your hook. So you've got that auto mode. That's mode 1 by default. Mode 2 is 100% floor. So 100% of the time, just going around your floors. That's what I use the majority of the time with this one. I'm not as concerned with the walls in my above ground pool. Maybe I should be, but that's more of an in-ground pool sort of issue, I think, because you got like different tiles and stuff on it. But that 100% of the time, it would just clean the floor. So 2.5 hours of floor cleaning. You've got another mode that's 100% walls, and it will just spend its entire battery life going up and down the walls and cleaning it up. So that's another option. The fourth mode, April calls it the eco mode. I call it vacation mode. And the reason I call it vacation mode is what it'll do is when you throw it in the pool and you have it in eco mode, it's going to clean the floors for 45 minutes, and then it's going to stop wherever it's going to park against the wall just in case you need to pull it out. 45 minutes, parks against the wall, and then 48 hours later, it's going to clean again for 45 minutes, stop up against the wall, take a rest. 48 hours later, it'll do that again until you come and pull it out. So what happens is over a 5-day period, you get 3 45-minute cleaning sessions. So it's a way, I think, if you're not swimming a lot, to just kind of keep the water moving around. Because the worst thing that can happen for a pool, and this is where I'm at right now, is no one's swimming yet because the weather hasn't really hit, where we're hot enough. It gets too cold sometimes at night, so the water's a little chilly. But the floor is not getting moved around a lot. And so that eco mode can just help during the week when you're even during the swim season to just agitate that floor so stuff isn't settling, and then that can get pushed back up into your filter. So that's something to consider to try to keep your pool clean, is leaving it in that eco mode. Again, climbs the walls, picks up all the debris, and got a real easy basket to pull out of it. It'll pick up anything that's there on the bottom. Look at that. Tons of leaves, tons of dead bugs, all those sort of things. So I absolutely love the Scuba S1. I feel like when I do put this one in my pool, it's the most thorough clean that I can possibly get. Every single time I use it, I'm like, why don't I use this one all the time? But I'm always testing other ones, so I never know. So check out the Scuba S1. Right now, this is on a limited time deal, 22% off. At $549, 549er on this. If you're just hopping in here and watching, do say hi. I'm Scott. I don't bite too hard unless you ask me to. And we are looking at different pool vacuums is our primarily focus right now. And I'm playing some videos and talking over them so I can give you my own opinion on them and you can watch them go. All right, this is the Co-Steering Planet Pro above ground pool vacuum cleaner. And I say above ground because it does not have motorized wheels. It's going to move around based on force and inertia. So it can't climb up incline. So don't put it in a pool that has any sort of depth changes. Now, if you do have an in-ground pool that's, has this one depth, you could use this in there. I don't know that you're going to be as satisfied with it because of the material and because it can't climb walls. So just keep that in mind. But pool size wise, because this one cleans for 2 hours, 120 minutes, you can use it in a pool almost up to 1,300 square feet is the recommended size, because it's got that full 2 hours to zigzag around, clean up your pool. I love on this one that the power button is on the top. I just appreciate that on the pool vacuums. A little easier when you're getting up to the pool and before you throw it in to see that button. You don't have to flip it over. And then you can really quickly get it going, which is really, really nice. And then it's going to start what I call zigzagging around. It's going to kind of just go back and forth. When it taps against the wall, it will turn itself off, not off, stops and then goes the other way. I said that wrong, but you'll see it. It kind of turns. This one, what's cool is the light will kind of turn white when it hits the side of the wall. And then it turns itself around the other way and goes that opposite direction, which is really cool. Doing this for 2 hours straight, picking up leaves, picking up dead bugs, picking up all the stuff that's just sitting on the bottom of your floor. That's what this one is designed to grab a hold of for you. It will grab some sand. So if you do have sand in the bottom of your pool, it can grab that, which is super, super nice. It's not going to grab algae. They're not designed for that purpose, but it will grab all of that other stuff. And then when it gets down to about 15% battery life, it's going to go park against the sidewall, and then you'll use your hook and pull it out of the pool and go clean it out. This one opens up. It just has 2 little spots on the side that you'll pop out. And you can see it here. This is like a little time lapse of it just kind of zigzagging around the bottom of the pool real quick here for me. But let's watch it kind of pull out of the pool here. This does have dual brushless motors. The Planet version of this doesn't. So what that means, it can move around a little quicker, and the suction is going to be a little bit higher on it. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then you'll see how it drains out. This one's, it's got its inner cavity, and then it's got its outer cavity. So most of the water is coming out of that right now is that cavity that hasn't gone under the screen. You'll see it when I open it here. There's like little spots that it kind of goes around the screen. That's where that water was coming from. And look at that, tons of leaves, tons of dead bugs and little debris and other things like that. So check out the CoSteering Planet Pro. Hang on one second. Dallas, come here. Come on, come here. Hey, come on, lay over here. Lay right there. Lay down. No, lay down. Stay right there. Sorry, all of a sudden we got a thunderstorm, and no, stay right there. I had to let my dog in. And she's standing at the back door. No, stay over there. I got to take a picture of her in here. And I was like, oh, she's probably at the back door. She was at the house back door, and she's soaking wet. Hopefully she'll just lay down. I'm going to turn a fan on over there. Give me just 1 second. Like I said, I knew she was outside. I had no clue we were about to have a thunderstorm. But I couldn't. She was standing at her back door hoping someone would let her in. But I was like, oh no, I can't run across there right now because I'm in here on this live stream. I'm going to turn a fan on for her if I can find it in my thing. There we go. See if that helps her out. Dries her off a little bit. Yeah, so check out the CoSteering Planet Pro. Really nice, simple to use. A little vacuum cleaner. Trying to see if this fan will help her out. Let's see, is it going to turn right? Make sure it doesn't get hung up on anything. Oh. Let's see. There, we'll stop it right there. Yeah, so check out the Planet Pro. The good deal on this one right now, it's $169.99, but there is a $40 off coupon. So you get it for $129.99. Boy, that rain is coming down hard right now. Hopefully my internet stays connected. All right, let's go to the next vacuum here. This is the Aiper Seagull SE. So the Aiper Seagull SE is been a staple in the above ground pool industry for quite some time. One of Aiper's best, most trusted above ground pool vacuum cleaners. This is going to be made, like I said, for pools primarily above ground because it needs to be 100% flat. Can't have any depth changes whatsoever. I would say up to 40 feet, which about 950 square feet is probably, going to be safe for that. It charges on the bottom, but it does have the ability to turn it on top, which I absolutely love. It shows you 4 little lights on it, and that's how you kind of know if it's fully charged. When it's all the way lit up, those little blue lights, that means you're 100%. Each one represents 25%. turn it on, and then it starts to zigzag around the pool. It's not going to do a specific pattern. It's going to pick up the leaves, going to pick up the dead bugs, debris, all those things that have fallen to the bottom. Parks itself. You pull it out with the hook. It's got a front and back clip, and then 2 side clips, so you do need both hands. I was recording this with my phone, so it was a little bit harder. I've learned now to have a neck tripod now. And then pull it out, and then you'll find all that debris. And look in there. We've got leaves. We've got sand. There's a big piece of hair, probably from the dog or a person or something that flew into the pool because no one was in it at this time. But it gets all that stuff up. And that's what I do like about these cavities on this type of vacuum is it can catch a lot of sand and stuff and gets all of that stuff out for you, which is absolutely fantastic. Again, this one runs for 90 minutes. It's going to grab all that debris for you. And then what you don't want is you don't want that stuff sitting on the bottom of your pool because that's the stuff that becomes algae. So if you keep your pool stirred up, the Seagull SE is going to work in conjunction, if you will, with your filter, because the stuff that it can't grab, the little fine stuff, that's going to get back into the water towards the top, and then that goes into your filter, and your filter grabs it. So that's why I say you've got to use this in your pool every day if you want to keep a crystal clear pool. And the Seagull SE has been one of my favorites for a very, very long time. Right now, this is 10% off at $179.99, and there is a $20 off coupon there on the product page. All right, let's see. I can find the next one. This next one's not a robot. It's the Pool Blaster. So you got to check this thing out. So the Pool Blaster, you can get it with or without rechargeable batteries. There is an option there to get it with rechargeable if you want to, or you can do it with just plain old batteries. But what this thing does is pretty extraordinary. It just, because of its big width there, and it's got a big old fan in it, and that big net, you just start pushing that thing around, and it's just going to grab all of those leaves. It's like so cool to watch this one work and how fast. Like this was a situation, gosh, a year or two ago when a bunch of leaves fell in the bottom of my pool, and I was able to grab this, put it on my pole, and just start going to town after it. And then all you gotta do is just dump the bag out, take it off, dump it out, clean it out, and then do it again. So like such a cool way to grab leaves. This is not gonna grab algae or stuff like that. It's not meant for that, okay? It's going to grab the leaves. It's going to grab some dead bugs and stuff because it is a pretty good sized mesh. So little bitty things aren't going to get stuck in there. But the leaves, which causes all your algae, like algae loves that stuff, right? So you want to get this stuff off the bottom of your pool floor. Don't let it decay down there. Look at that. So many leaves. And I was under a minute doing that. So if you want something kind of cool, something a little bit different that you just use on the go and on the spot, check this out here from Pool Blaster. Let's see, what do we want to look at next? We're at 40 minutes of time. Let me show you the little Y-Bot. Excuse me while I take a drink there. If I can find it. Boom, there it is. All right, this is a little pull back from Y-Bot. It's made to clean for 50 minutes. It's going to be designed for smaller above ground pools that are 100% flat, no changes in depth, okay? About 500 square feet is the recommended pool size on this. And the reason there's that recommendation is based on the time, okay? Simple though, it's got those 2 wheels on the big wheels on the side and the little swivel wheels on the front and back, so it can kind of move around really easily. Power on the bottom as far as charging it and turning it off and on is down there as well. And then this is going to go around and it's going to pick up leaves. It's going to pick up the larger debris sort of stuff that turns into algae. So that's the kind of stuff that you don't want on the bottom of your pool, right? And what's neat too with this one, that handle, you'll see it like right now. See how it's going backwards, like its hair's getting blown in a convertible. You'll kind of know which way it's going based on that. that actually will move when it's in there, and then it goes the other way. It's kind of a unique styling that I wouldn't. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that thing did that. See, now it's going the other way. So this is going to move around the pool, like I said, for 50 minutes off of it with one single charge. It takes about 3 or 4 hours to charge it up. And then it's going to auto park itself on the sidewall. And then you'll just fish it out with the hook that it comes with and go to clean it. And it's a pretty simple process when you do pull it out and start to clean it. There's 2 little clips, one on each side, that you'll open up. And you'll see this cavity in here. I will say, one of the things that I found interesting on this one is that screen is very large for one, but it's really tight. Like, I feel like this is one of the tighter screens. Like, look at all those leaves. Like, oh my gosh, so many leaves for such a small little vacuum that it grabbed. I was shocked because those are big leaves that went right through that little hole there. And you can see it's covered with like a piece of flap of rubber, basically. But look at all that. That was all inside my pool, and it picked it all up. So if you've got a smaller above ground pool, that typical, I would say if you're 18 feet round or smaller, this one's perfect for you. I'm here from Wybot. It's a fun green color as well. 23% off right now at $119.99. Let's see. What's the next one we can look at? Let's look at this one here from Quitron. Let's see if I have this video. I may not. Boom, boom. I got one from Pondy. There's Quitron, the spider. All right, so this is the Quitron spider. Above ground pool, robotic vacuum cleaner. It's going to clean for 90 minutes off of one single charge. You charge it on the bottom. It's got large holes to pull in the leaves and dead bugs and other debris that might be on the bottom of your pool. A nice brush to help push that stuff into there. The wheels are nicely recessed into it so that it's very low profile to the pool floor, which is really nice. And a 90-minute run time on that, I would recommend it for pools about 860 square feet or smaller. And they need to be flat, like no changes in depth, no deep in, no hole in the middle. Some people do with above ground pools, kind of dig a hole in the middle and make it kind of swoop down. None of that. It needs to be flat, otherwise it's going to get diverted around. My pool has a lot of wrinkles in it, and I'm not level, so mine does get diverted, unfortunately, but that's just part of life, right? So this is going to go around for 90 minutes. It's going to pick up all that larger debris. Sand is going to get caught in there as well. Algae is not. These are not designed for algae. So if there's smaller particles and then the holes in the screen, it's just going to go back into the water. But the reason that's okay is if you have your filter on, your pump on while it's just running, when it does force that stuff back out of the vacuum, that gets caught in the circulation of your pool water, and then your pump grabs it. So I always leave my pump on while I'm using mine because I want to work in conjunction. Like, I want them to be hand in hand. So that's what this is going to do. You're going to pick up the big stuff that turns into algae, and the dirt and algae that is in the bottom of your pool that it can't grab, it's going to spit that stuff back up, and it's going to start floating around, and your pool pump is going to have a higher ability to pick it up. This one cleans and moves around really quickly compared to a lot of the other ones. 30-watt suction, 2 cleaning brushes, 2 suction ports. Takes about 2.5 hours to charge it. And I think I said 90 minutes of runtime. I am seeing that they're also actually have updated it, and now it cleans for 110 minutes. So 110 minutes of cleaning with this on one single charge. And then when you pull it out, let it drain itself out, and then you're going to have to take the whole unit over to wherever it is that you clean your pool vacuums, because it's not a basket you pull out of this one. So you'll kind of see it come around here. 4 little spots that you open up, and then we'll see what we got inside here on this one. It's a tight seal. And look at this. Tight screen, which I noticed was different than a lot of them. It's really, really tight. And this one picked up a bunch of sand as well as a ton of leaves. So look at this. Look at this. So you'll notice it first on the screen, and as I zoom in a little bit here, you're going to see it starts to grab all of that sand, all of that debris. and everything else like that out of it. And it looks like I have gone offline. I'm losing my power. I'm going to have to end the stream.